at the time, Paul had an idea to put Dolph and I together, and he thought we'd be a great tag team. And I guess he was right.
Hey there, everyone. Rick Ucchino here again for Sportskeeda Wrestling, and I am joined today by one half of the reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions. He's a former United States champion, former NXT champion, one half of the Dirty Dawgs. He is the glorious Robert Roode. How are we doing today, sir?
I am glorious. That was a fantastic intro. Thank you very much.
I do what I can. I wanted the glorious reaction, so I got it. Now we can now we can move forward.
Moving on. Yeah.
Yes, I did want to start with the Dirty Dawgs name. I wanted to know where that came from, because I'm assuming that it's got to be a Cleveland Browns reference of some type. Am I right in assuming that Ziggler came up with that one?
Not even close, actually.
Really?
No,
wow.
No, it has nothing to do with Cleveland. It's kind of an inside joke, to be honest, with a bunch of friends, and I guess it's the old, like the adage of Dolph and I have been around for a minute in this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Broke in '98. Dolph, I think he broke in like '67. He's been around forever. No, but seriously, I mean, we're two veteran guys. We've even though we weren't in the same company together, we've kind of seen it all, been there, done that, been in the ring with the best of the best. And we know that, being the old dogs in the locker room, so to speak, sometimes you got to play a little dirty. And, you got to play dirty sometimes to get the job done and get what you want in this business. And that's that's the kind of moniker that we want to go by. And two veteran guys that are here to make a paycheck and be champions and make a name for ourselves as a tag team. So that's kind of where it came from.
Gotcha. Now, you guys have been tagging for a while now, a couple of years at least. Won the Raw and Tag Team, or Raw and SmackDown Tag Team titles. Had a fair amount of success. How did the two of you come to be? What was that driving force that got you guys together?
Well, actually, it was a Paul Heyman idea, to be honest with you. Dolph and I can speak for myself that during that time period, I wasn't really doing much. I was on the live events and I was coming to TV, but sometimes I do main event, the main event tapings. Sometimes I get sprinkled in on Raw doing something, but a lot of times I wasn't doing much. And, at the time, Paul had an idea to put Dolph and I together, and he thought we'd be a great tag team. And I guess he was right, because, when I came up to the main roster, the very first guy I got into a program with was Dolph Ziggler. And I knew from the moment I stepped in the ring with him the very first night, he was one of the best I've ever been in the ring with. Just as the way he moves, is the chemistry. We think on the same wavelength. You know what I mean?
Sure.
We have that same mentality when it comes into the business and what to do while we're in the ring and how to present ourselves and all that stuff. So I think Paul kind of saw that and put us together. And the first night we were together, we ended up winning, I believe it was a gauntlet match to see who the number one contenders were for Clash of Champions. And then him and I won that, went on to defeat Braun and Seth Rollins actually at that pay-per-view and became Raw Tag Team Champions. And we kind of, we've been together ever since. And as of late, being an old school guy, if we're going to be a team, I wanted to be presented as a team. And for the longest time, I would still wear my robe with the glorious, stuff on it, and he would wear his stuff. And so we kind of took a little bit of both and kind of meshed it together, as well as our music, as you can tell now, but we have the same music. So it's taken a little while, but now we are a team. We're being presented as a team. And, I think that it's been working, and we're kind of just I feel like we're just kind of just getting started almost, even though we have been together for a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up the music, because, for me, Glorious is still one of the top 5 theme musics of all time. I listened to it at least like 5 times, but getting hyped up for this interview today. I'm not even kidding. Like I genuinely love that song. So when it went away, I'm not gonna lie. There was a little bit of tear. There was a tear that came out of my eye that song went away.
Yeah.
But that it sounds like this was something that needed to happen, no matter how much that song slaps.
Yeah, I mean that song will always be around, right? If anything ever happens, and I can always go back to it. But as a like I said, as an old school guy, a tag team fan, I want to be presented as a team, and so did Dolph. If we're going to be a team, let's truly be a team. And the music is one of the things that had to change, and it's a pretty cool little mix. I think still get the piano at the beginning,
Yeah.
part of my song, and then kind of rolls on from there. But it is what it is, and I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
So 2020, obviously hard on a lot of people to varying degrees, and you were one of the talents that unfortunately we didn't get to see for a while, stuck due to travel restrictions, I believe is what it was. So how was that? How was that for you to just basically be stuck and be away from the ring for so long?
It sucked, to be honest with you. When you're on the, I've been doing this for a long time, like I said, and when you're used to a schedule and a routine, when you're on the road 3 or 4 days a week, and then you're home 3 or 4 days a week, you get used to that grind and you get used to that schedule, and so does your wife and everybody around you, right? So it was a challenging kind of adjustment for me, and obviously the pandemic was life altering for many people in many different aspects. And, I guess being to the average Joe, I guess saying that I'm stuck at home and unable to work doesn't sound too bad, but I love what I do. And I love being a part of the show, and it sucked. I just didn't, I was always eager to get back, and stayed in touch with people, and stayed in touch with Dolph, and stayed in touch with the office, because I wanted to find out what I needed to do to get back to work. It took some time, but we figured it out, and I had the better part of 6 months off at home, and in a way it was good. I got to, kind of recharge my battery, and not that I was unhealthy, but mentally freshen up, get healthy, my body healed, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, I would have much rather have been working than sitting at home during that time.
And they brought you back. They kept you and Dolph together, which was great. But I believe your first match back, it's like, boom, here's a WWE title match with Drew McIntyre, which is, just 3 years ago, or 3 years earlier than that, you guys were battling over the NXT championship. So what was it like to come back and then boom, here's this match with Drew, who was firing on all cylinders for most of 2020?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was a great way to come back. Couldn't have had it. You couldn't have asked for anything better. Drew, like you said, was on fire at the time, and to be put in there with him in a WWE title match in the main event of Raw, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So, yeah, and like I said, Drew and I do have a bit of a history dating back even before the WWE days, before NXT. But he was the guy that defeated me for the NXT championship, and now he's doing his thing, and I was doing my thing. So it was kind of great to be brought back in that aspect, and to be in the ring with the top dog was pretty cool.